And now it's time, which I've been waiting patiently for this. Myself and my co-host Nick, this is something we have discussed for years, and we can't wait to talk to you because you and your daughter and your husband, you guys are YouTube sensations.
Okay, if you say so.
Well, come on, you are. When I look at somebody, I see you're a sensation.
Okay, it's just weird. It's weird when you don't intend it to happen. It's weird. So, but yeah, I think we are something, definitely. Our family's definitely something, and it's YouTube, and it's awesome.
You know, it's funny because we met at the Atlantic City Convention, and we had a great conversation.
Yes.
We talked a long time, our families and all. So when I got home, you know, I went on YouTube and searched out, and I was blown away. I was like, oh, my God. I couldn't believe what you guys were doing. And I'm turning to my wife. I'm like, you got to look at this. Look at this. And then I'm messaging with my buddy Nick. I'm like, Nick, you got to see this. Like, look what they're doing it. Like, you guys are like living the dream that a lot of people want to do in the world of YouTube.
Yeah. I think, we definitely are. I mean, you know, we just play with toys for fun on YouTube, and people watch us do it, which is just absolutely surreal. It really is. And it's awesome. Whose idea was
this whole thing?
It was Gracie's idea. She was 8 years old at the time. We just celebrated our 4th anniversary. But she was 8, and we used to watch YouTube together all the time. We would watch doll reviews and craft videos and makeup tutorials, and, you know, we would do that together. And I have MS, and I had to retire because I couldn't work anymore. And so we were coming up on school was ending and didn't know what to do all summer, and heat and people with MS don't get along. And I said to her, so, you know, well, gee, what do you want to do this summer? And she said, why don't we start a YouTube channel and review our Monster High dolls? And I was like, okay, yeah, sure. I have a webcam. Yeah. And, you know, it was really just something for us to do together. And neither one of us ever in a million years thought that we would be where we are today, that anybody would watch it. It's really amazing.
You know, and that's funny because one of the things I wanted to ask you was, did you think like doing all this has like made the relationship between you and your daughter a lot better?
Yes, and I would say especially now that we're moving into the teen years. Gracie's going to turn 13 this fall, so I can say especially over this past year, you know, this is the age where mothers and daughters start to drift apart and have communication problems. And, you know, I remember this from my own childhood. This is a difficult age. And so it's really good to have something that you do with your child that keeps you bonded. And so this is our thing. This is the thing that still connects us when all the other connections are sort of falling away. We still have this. We still get in the studio together and, you know, play with toys and break them and laugh like idiots. And so we still have this. And I think even going forward, this is actually going to be more important than it was when she was younger, if that makes any sense.
Sure. Oh, absolutely. And something too, like, I mean, it's kind of like a family time capsule for you guys. I was thinking too, like, you'll be able to look back at this stuff over the years and be like, oh, look, remember how young we were?
Oh, yeah, all of us. But yeah, I mean, 4 years, you don't realize how much of a difference 4 years is in a child's life. But when I go back and watch the videos from the first summer, I mean, she's like so different. She has this squeaky little voice, and you know, she was such a completely different person. And it's it's really cool. It's very, very cool to have that all documented. And I mean, so she gets a little cringy when she sees her. She calls herself Fetus Gracie. But yeah, it's cool. It's really cool.
Now, was there any particular video that like put you guys over the top that really made things break open for you guys, or?
I think it was just the one thing that we did that was different that then now everybody sort of does. But again, it was Gracie's idea. Is since she was very, very little, I've always sort of been a toy collector. So, and then when Gracie was very little, before the channel and everything, she was very into the movie Disney Cars, and we used to go. She and my husband used to go out on trips to stores everywhere. They were trying to collect all the different cars, and they used to call it car hunting. And then when Monster High came out, Gracie and I called it doll hunting. And we would all go out together and we, spend a day driving around all different Targets and Walmarts trying to find the new releases of dolls. So she said, why don't you film us doing that? And so we did. And we filmed and we called ourselves the Doll Hunters. And that just really caught on. And now it's something that like lots of toy channels do. They call it toy hunting, toy haul, toy shopping, But I think that was, the first thing that made us stand out. And then the other thing that I think just has made us different is that we're just such a hot mess. It never occurred to me, never once, man, did it occur to me to like write a script, do a retake. Never, ever, ever. And later on, when I started meeting other YouTubers, I was like, you do retakes? I mean, we just let the camera roll, and whatever happens, happens, and then I put bumpers on the front and end and upload it to YouTube. Never occurred to me. But that's become our thing. So we're a hot mess.
That's the way it should be. It shouldn't be like a whole, big retake and retake and retake until it's done right. Just let it fly.
Yeah. I mean, that's what happens when you play with toys. I mean, we never read the directions like before we make the video. So, it's always us breaking something and trying to figure it out, and then me being, halfway through the video, finding my glasses and going, okay, wait, let's try to read the instructions. Oh, we've been doing it wrong the whole time. Or so, and it's just because that's how life is. I mean, that's how you play with toys. You don't prepare before you sit down to play with toys. So it never occurred to me to kind of prepare before we film this stuff. So we've just, we're keeping it real, It's way more fun. It's just way more fun. Now that I've seen how other people do things, and I've seen people who have their kids, do retakes or, say it all different ways or say it over and over again, I just look at Gracie and I'm like, see, aren't you glad that I'm your mom?
Now, how many, you guys do, multiple videos a day, it seems like?
No, it's just, it looks like it. It's 6 days a week. We don't post on Mondays. So we have over 1,500 videos at this point that we've made. Yeah. Crazy.
Wow.
But we usually do it in blocks. So we'll sit down and we'll film anywhere from 3 to, I think the most we ever did was 12 videos in a row. And we really like doing it in the big blocks because the more videos we make, the ones towards the end where we're really punchy are the best ones. Those are the funniest.
That's funny. That's
funny. You just get slap happy after a while, and you just cracking up, and then we just think that Gracie comes up with the best ideas. She's a very creative young lady, and she has a great sense of humor. So she will just come up with some crazy ideas, like this toy rodeo thing we did as a joke that everybody's like, "Oh, do more toy rodeo," and she's like, "They don't get that was ironic."
And the one thing too, you guys, you were saying, you do all these different shopping extravaganzas, but you do a thrift store one too, which I was watching.
Oh yeah.
There's just so many different things you guys can do, and it's so fun. It's great family bonding time over toys.
It is. It is. And with toys, and the great thing about the hunting is that it's not really about the finding; it's about the hunting. It's about the getting in the car, and when my husband, Sweet Willie, can come with us, the three of us getting in the car and him driving us all over New Jersey trying to find something. It's about that time together in the car, and not about the actual buying of the toy. There's a lot of times we do that and we don't find what we went out looking for, but we still had a great day. And I think that resonates with people, you know.
Now, how about when you are out, like, doing shopping or anything? Do people stop you and be like, oh, my God, like, you're Mommy and Gracie?
Yeah, it does happen. Gracie and I went to the mall yesterday. Yeah, yesterday. It's so hot that, you know, we're like, okay, we need to get out of the house, but we're not, you know. So we went to the mall, and we got recognized 3 different times in the mall. And it's still very surreal, but it's very sweet. And Gracie's just really awesome about it, because I know she does have some social anxiety, so, you know, but she just manages to somehow flip a switch when little kids come up to her and they're like, oh my God, are you Gracie and Mommy? And she smiles for the pictures and she hugs them, and, you know, she's good. Oh, and we had the most amazing thing happen last week. We had a little girl get flown out here to our house by Make-A-Wish.
Really?
It is the most humbling thing that has ever happened to me in my life, and my husband agrees. We got contacted over the winter, a little girl who is battling leukemia, and she has a couple of other health issues on top of that. And her wish, when she was talking to us, she said, well, it was either meet Mommy and Gracie or go to Disney World, and I decided I wanted to meet you guys.
Oh, wow.
That is insane. And so what she wanted to do, because we have a huge Monster High doll collection, because that's really what, you know, sort of the core of where we started, and I love those dolls, and Gracie loves those dolls. And so my whole bedroom is Monster High dolls, and she wanted to see the collection, and then she wanted to make videos with us, because like her mom and her grandma and her dad were telling me that, you know, during her chemo, she would just watch Mommy and Gracie Show videos over and over again. Wow. And to know that you were able to sort of make any part of that easier for a little kid, that's all I need. That's all I ever need in life. I don't care if nothing else ever happens. That little girl, like, we made her happy. It's amazing.
That's like one of the moments, like, you hear, like, for like a musician, like when somebody says, like, to like a Paul McCartney, like how the Beatles changed somebody's life. I mean, that's a moment like that.
It's crazy. It's crazy. My husband and I that night, we were lying there in bed and just trying to sort of wrap our brains around it, because it was so, and she was so awesome. She was so happy, and her parents were so, you know, it just, and we kept thanking them, because it was just such a, you know, like an amazing experience. And my husband was, I'm a huge Kiss fan, and my husband was like, it was like you got to go and be on stage, you know, and sing Rock and Roll All Night with Kiss, you know, in front of a live audience. Like, you know, you try to wrap your head around. I can't. It's very hard to imagine that we would mean that much to someone, but we're so honored that we do. And you never know in life. You never know what choice you're going to make or which way life is going to take you that is going to put you in a position to just really inspire other people. And it'll probably happen completely accidentally.
Wow. That's an incredible story. That really is.
It's mind-blowing. I still get chills when I think about it.
You know, it's what's crazy too. Like when I was saying, like when I got back from the convention, and I was telling my co-host Nick, and you know, I was talking to other people back. Cause I talked to a lot of people about the whole YouTube thing, and we always try to talk and figure out like how people like yourself are doing it. So when I was telling them about you guys, like they're like, "Oh yeah, Mommy and Gracie, my kids watch that." I'm like, I was blown away. Like everybody knew like Mommy and Gracie. I'm like, wow, like where am I? Like I'm late to this whole party.
You're not running in those circles, you know. I mean, and there's so many YouTubers. I mean, I'm on YouTube. You know, I'm in the YouTube world, and there's people I've never heard of, and they've got millions of subscribers. And I'm like, who? What? You know, it's just such a huge platform that it's insane.
Yeah, how about like the rest of your family? Like, what do they think of this whole thing?
They think it's really. I mean, like my side of the family thinks it's really cool, and they're really open to, you know, they'll be in videos and stuff, and And my husband's side of the family is a little more conservative, and they're not really, I don't think they get YouTube as much as my side of the family does, but my side of the family is really techie, so I think it just comes naturally to us. But, yeah, I mean, they sort of get it. And it's kind of funny because, like, some of them will, you know, people that they work with, when they, you know, figure out that, you know, if they'll see a picture of Gracie, like on, you know, like on my mother-in-law's desk, and they'll be like, oh my God, that's Gracie from the Mommy and Gracie Show. And it's like, well, yeah, that's my granddaughter. And then, then all of a sudden we're making shout-out videos for people that work for my mother-in-law. It's kind of weird. And that's when, you know, your family is like, what? What's going on?
Oh, that's crazy. That is so crazy.
It is. Now, somebody, go ahead.
I was going to say, like, how about, too, like, now, like, I saw, like, there was one, like, you guys get, I guess, which I didn't even know these things existed. Was it Munch Box or something? Boxes
Munch
of
Pack. Yeah.
And you guys taste them?
Yeah, we taste. Yeah, there's a bunch of different, like, subscription boxes, and there's several of them that do food. Munch Pack in particular does snacks from different countries. And so that one, my husband, Sweet Willie, makes those videos with me because there's no way Gracie's going to taste any of that stuff. And I'm even a little, like, you can see me on the videos, I'm a little like, oh, I don't know about this. Sweet Willie will eat anything. But,
Daring man.
So, yeah. So, yeah, so they'll, you know, they send it to us, you know, and ask us to make a video, you know, total honest impressions of you know, what's in the Munch Pack. And, but they send us the box. You know, they give us a free monthly subscription. And I don't know why, but people like to watch people eat weird tasting food.
Well, they want to see your reactions. That's why.
Yeah. It's really funny. So.
Now, what did you think, too? Like, no, go ahead.
No, go ahead. I'm done. I'm good.
I was going to say, what did you guys think, like, when companies started contacting you to send you free stuff to put on the channel?
Oh, that was bizarre. That was really, because that happened probably about 6 months into making videos, and I was just absolutely shocked because I didn't know that went on. And then I also, you know, later found out that as you get bigger, people want to pay you to promote stuff, but we are extremely selective about doing that because we have kids watching us, and we feel like you need to be really above board and, you know, honest. And so it has to be something that we genuinely love. But that is a huge thing between people sending you, you know, free toys, which is awesome. It makes it more affordable to put up 6 videos a week if we don't have to buy a toy, you know, for, you know, to fill 6 days worth of videos. But it's, yeah, I mean, there's a whole, this is a whole thing now. Oh, and we won an award this year.
Oh, really?
Believe it or not. Yes. At Toy Fair, we won Social Media Influencer of the Year for women in toys. And that's what it's called now, by the way, Social Media Influencers. That's the buzzword for, so you need to become a social media influencer. So like PR and marketing people will, you know, use your influence that you have, your show, to promote stuff. Yeah.
I would love that.
It's a whole new world. It's a whole new world.
That's awesome, though.
Now, the best part is just being with Gracie. So.
Of course. Now, do you guys do, like, because we saw you at a convention, so do you guys become guests at conventions yet, or? We've done a couple of, usually at toy events, we've done live shows where we've done live toy unboxing. We did that in Chicago at ShyTag, which is the Chicago Toy and Game Convention. And that's very crazy. And then we did it at Playfair, the first Playfair they had this year that went along with Toy Fair, but it was open to the public. And that is just, it's so crazy. And then we've done some panels and some meet and greets at different events.
I found out that Gracie loves being on stage. Never, didn't expect that, but she's like, you hand her a microphone and she's on. So, but that's really fun. I mean, it's really fun. We've done meet and greets, where kids and families come out to meet us, and it's weird because they want your autographs, and it's just like, what?
That is so wild. Yeah, I was thinking too, like, with all this stuff, like, you guys get sent to you now between the toys and the food boxes and stuff like that. Does your mailman hate you?
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mailman, FedEx and UPS in particular, especially around holiday season, because starting in about October, the toy companies just go nuts. And but what's really cool about that is we then we get to donate tons and tons of stuff to preschools, children's hospitals, Toys for Tots, so that's cool. But yeah, they hate us. They really do.
Yeah,
and my husband hates the cardboard. He has nightmares about cardboard recycling.
Oh, I can imagine. It's kind of like Christmas every week at your house with all the boxes and stuff.
At Christmas time, we have to make a path so that in case of a fire we can get out the front door. Just so many boxes. It's crazy.
Oh, that's funny. That is so funny. Now, how about I was going to say.
I don't know.
I lost track of thought.
We were talking about toys.
Yeah, with the toys, having so many, like you said, you donate toys and all, but at any point have you turned to your husband and said, "Sweet Willie, I think we need a bigger house for the toys"?
We've joked about it. We've converted a lot of space in our house that probably normal people would use for things like maybe to display china or family photos to displaying toys and dolls, and we're obsessed with Funko Pops, and there's dolls and collectibles everywhere, in the kitchen, in the bathroom. They're everywhere. Someday we're going to be on Hoarders.
Now, you know what you need to do? Remember the old MTV Cribs? You need to do an episode like that.
Kids want that all the time. They always ask, do a house tour. And I'm like, no, because I'd have to clean.
Oh, that's so funny. Now, being very quiet is my co-host, Nick. And, Nick, I want to bring you in here because I know you're, chomping at the bit over there. And he's like me. He's, amazed by the world of YouTube.
Well, yeah, and I said earlier that you guys basically, you figured out Colonel Sanders' 12 original recipe herbs and spices. You cracked the YouTube code, and it's really just amazing.
I don't. The funny thing is people try to do it and they fail, and people always ask me how to do it, and I'm like, I can't tell you how to do it because I don't know how I did. I mean, there are certain things, and techniques and whatever, but mostly I tell people, if you love something enough that you can talk about it on camera, go for it. But if you're not passionate and you don't love something, don't waste your time, because people see right through that, and you can't try to make this happen. It either happens or it doesn't.
That's absolutely that's awesome.
Yeah, I mean it's and there's a lot of people that, because there's articles and TV interviews and stuff, and then people are like, oh, I'm gonna make my kid in front of the camera and have him unbox toys, and we're gonna become millionaires, and they look like hostage videos. These poor kids, Daddy, I don't want to do this.
No, I got to tell you, I've been obsessed ever since they showed me the channel. I have been obsessed with finding this one toy, and for some reason, it's just not in the toy stores near my house. And I'll tell you what it is. It was It was in the Trying Snacks from Around the World video, and it's in the background, and it's a Ninja Turtle blaster that's their head is the blaster, and it looks like it opens up and discs come out of its mouth. And I'm obsessed with Ninja Turtles. Okay? So I've been looking for it everywhere, and I think tomorrow we were planning on going to Target and looking, because that's the only place we haven't looked yet.
That you've looked in Walmart?
We've looked in Walmart and Kmart, and I want to say the toy store at the mall as well.
Target or Toys R Us. Toys R Us is your best place for turtle stuff. They have a huge turtle section, but Target will be good too.
You know what? I'll go to both of them tomorrow.
Yeah. I'm obsessed. I saw it in the background. It's so funny.
Getting toy shopping advice from Mommy. How about that?
Hey, yeah, you got to go hunting. Film it. Put it on YouTube.
How about that? Do you do you encourage other people to do that? I mean, you don't look at it as a competition, or?
Oh no, I think it's awesome. I mean, they always say that, what is it? Duplication is flattery, or whatever that saying is. Imitation is a form of flattery. Yeah, I mean, when people started doing it, that's actually like Gracie was like, we started a thing. Like we were the first people to do that. Now it's a thing. That's kind of cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That is so awesome.
And there is no such thing as competition really on YouTube, because people just watch and watch and watch and watch, and kids will watch 10 different people play with the same toy, because everybody's going to play with it differently, and
sorry, I was just going to say that YouTube has no sort of network hours. There's no primetime programming. They can watch it wherever and whenever they can access YouTube. So it really does create this sort of open atmosphere.
Yeah, and it's awesome. And kids today don't watch television. They really don't. My daughter does not watch TV. She never really has been much of a TV person. Part of that was kind of, upbringing, that we only, let her watch certain kinds of things. But YouTube, to me, just always, people think this sounds nuts, but YouTube to me was just being safer than, because, you can be watching something on television, and then for some reason, middle of the day it's a kid's show, and then they're showing a Cialis commercial, and you're like, what the heck? Mommy, why are they in two separate bathtubs? Oh, my God!
Oh, that's funny. That is so funny. So I guess you'll be taping tomorrow, and more videos planned for us for the next coming week.
Oh yeah, tomorrow is we've already got our uploads are already scheduled for tomorrow and Saturday, but tomorrow and Saturday we actually need to get down in the studio and film some stuff, and then next week hopefully we'll be able to get out to some thrift stores and find some more horrifying thrift items for What the Thrift, because that's always a blast.
Nice.
So yeah, but it's fun.
You guys have
good time.
Full studio now in the house?
Yeah, we converted a room in the basement into a dedicated place, so with the studio that so we film there instead of sitting at the dining room table or in my bedroom. We also used to film in my bedroom and you could see my unmade bed and laundry on the bed in many of our early videos, because I'm so professional.
Oh, that's funny.
Well, I actually had a question for you, if that's okay, babe.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay. So what I do for my, boring real-life job is a lot of parenting advice and blogging and stuff like that. So I wanted to talk to you a little bit about any advice that you would give when it comes to you give a lot of access, it seems like, to your homes, to your family. What advice can you give us as far as keeping the family safe and maintaining boundaries as far as privacy and everything like that goes, and anything like that would be helpful?
Yeah. Oh, definitely. And that is a huge thing, and I do that a lot with new families that I I find on YouTube. I reach out to them and say, hey, careful, because when you start, you don't think that you're going to become famous. But luckily I was pretty tech savvy and very into the internet, so I knew that there's no such thing as privacy. So, never use your real name. If you're filming outside of your house, don't, show your house number. I'm lucky. I mean, I live in a town where all the houses look exactly alike, so, but if your house is distinctive, don't talk about that. Don't talk about the exact town that you live in. Don't talk about what school your child goes to. Be careful that your child isn't in a video wearing a shirt or, a hoodie or something from their school. And teach your child to also be very careful about, what they say. Be careful on social media. A lot of people will, post right, if they're on Instagram, they'll post like, they're in the mall right this moment. They'll post from where they are right that moment. And it's like, hey, why don't you tell the whole world that there's nobody in your house right now? I love when people post that they're going on, okay, we're going on vacation. And I'm like, okay, so anybody who wants to go rob your house knows that you're not going to be home, So you need to use some common sense, and you need to educate your child. If your child is going to be on the internet at all, you should be educating them. But if they're going to be on YouTube with you, you need to, create those boundaries. And it is hard because you're sharing your life. I mean, there's a lot of family vloggers out there that daily upload videos just about their lives. It's like strange reality TV. But, many of them are not using their children's real first names even. Those aren't actually their kids' first names. And you just have to be very careful. Don't show your license plate.
Right.
Stuff like that. You need to stop and think. Anything
the
you put on the
identifying
internet
clothing,
can be found. Mm-hmm.
That's really that was something that I actually hadn't thought about, and now that I think about it, just the student council T-shirts and band T-shirts, and there's so much that could give away stuff like that. That is really interesting.
It is, and I've seen vlogs where people are posting, they went, go to their kids' soccer game, and they include it in the vlog, and I'm like, the jerseys have the name of the school. Now a predator knows where your kid goes to school, and you have to be careful.
Right.
And it was actually Gracie, by the way, who pointed that out, because we went doll hunting one day, and she was wearing a T-shirt from her school T-shirt, and then she realized halfway through the video, and she said, you know what? You have to cut out all the parts where you show my shirt. And I was like, oh, you're right. And then from then forward, we were clued in to, what? Yeah, we need to do that. But it was actually, my 9-year-old who thought that up, not me. I'm ashamed to admit.
Wow. And again, it's a shame that we have to be like that and be aware like that.
We do, and and everybody does. I think internet safety is, I could go on forever about this. Parents who don't even know if their kids have an Instagram or not, let alone know what their kids are posting on Instagram. There's a boundary somewhere there between privacy and trust and safety that every family needs to figure out. But you need to know, and you need to educate your child about what they're putting online.
Right.
You don't want to be that person on the news who says, I had no idea, she was posting those pictures, right?
Yeah. Oh, scary world. Scary world.
Yeah. Yeah, but it's also an awesome, amazing, beautiful world, so let's focus on that and not so much on the negative. But with great power comes great responsibility.
And great toys and all that.
Yep. Mhm.
Oh, too funny. What has been your favorite toy to review or play with?
Oh wow, that's That's really hard. We particularly like Barbie has some strange toys involving animals that just always keep us laughing. The Barbie has tortured dogs and cats in more ways than it's just amazing what they do to Barbie and what Barbie does to animals. And Jumps on a Horse Barbie, which is what inspired this, the toy rodeo, is the coolest toy ever because she really does mount a horse and it rides. And it's the coolest thing ever, but it's also the most ridiculous toy ever. So it's a little bit of both. But yeah, I mean, we're always on the lookout for how's Barbie going to torture an animal next. Really, those are fun.
That is too funny.
Yeah.
It's been great. This has been so fun talking to you. I want to thank you for doing this.
Oh, thank you. This was fun. This is very different. Same new experience.
See, now, you know what? You'll have to come back on around Christmas time and give us, the hot toys of the year.
Oh, definitely. I can tell you the hot toys and which ones not to waste your money on.
Yes.
Yeah.
Cool.
I would be glad to. Thank you very much for having me. I really appreciate it.
Awesome. And where can everybody find Mommy and Gracie and the whole show and everything else?
You can actually just go to mommyandgracieshow.com or YouTube/Mommy and Gracie Show.
There you go. Simple enough.
Awesome.
Great.
Thank you very much. This was really fun.
Thanks, Mommy. Tell the family we were asking for them.
I will. Have a great night.
You too.
Bye-bye.
All right, there she goes. Mommy from the Mommy and Gracie Show. That was fun. That's a whole mind.
Absolutely. And that's something that we haven't talked about in a long time, but I love watching YouTube videos of people eating strange shit. I love it. It's my favorite thing to do, especially if it's Irish people eating food from other countries, man. I can't get enough of it.
Dude, that's a whole nother world going on there. I don't even know what the hell you're watching in your world.
You know what it is, man? And it's not just about their reactions. I mean, it totally is, because a lot of times it's either joy or horror. You know what I mean? But it's also about the ability to see things that we don't have access to. And I constantly think of weird things what do other people have for dinner on a daily basis? You know what I mean? Do they have the same stuff that I do? So you get that sort of inside access into other people's lives, and you see what's normal for them. And that to me is just interesting as hell.